You have 68 wins. You cannot 69 Mina.
Hey everyone, it is the center of attention, Brittany Brooks, and you are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Come on over, Simply. I'm being see, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay.
Sabu's just sabotaging you.
Yeah. He sure did.
Hijacking.
Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
Good luck.
Shout out to Simply Reliable Studios making their Symphony debut, sponsoring this match and the entire Dragon Kai demonstration.
Hey-o, this is Jack Cartwheel. You are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Noah. I believe in Datula. The Meltzer of the multiverse. Who the fuck wants to compare themselves to another? How much of a mark do you have to be? You couldn't even pick a professional athlete. You went with a fucking journalist? Grow up, man.
We just want to say thank you to Simply Reliable Studios for voting us as Tag Team of the Year.
Of course.
Because you know what they say, right? If you can't swim, you're bound to drown.
Tonight, she is sponsored by Simply Reliable Studios from Orlando, Florida. She is everybody's favorite BFF, Izzy Marino.
Get it? Got it.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Welcome everybody once again to the Simply Reliable Studios, as this is the Ring of Honor. Hello, professional wrestling fans, and welcome to our coverage this evening of Global War Cincinnati, represented by Ring of Honor, CMLL, and Stardom. And thank you all for tuning in once again to the Simply Reliable Studios. Hello again, everybody, and thank you all so much for tuning in. You know what this is. For I'm the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice of us. We're grateful for all things professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. If you haven't already, please, I encourage you, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, and if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat or PayPal of passions, it's as simple as that. We got a stacked card for you here, multiple championships on the line. The Ring of Honor Women's World Championship will be on the line in a rematch from the New Beginning USA, as Athena looks to avenge the one loss she had this year against the IWGP Women's Champion representing Stardom and the leader of God's Eye, Syuri. We also have further Stardom involvement here with probably the strongest competitor on the Stardom roster, being perfectly honest here. Maika will be going one-on-one with one of Athena's minions in the meanest out of the 305, Diamante, in her first time ever one-on-one exhibition. Hyan, the Renaissance girl, will be taking on a mutual rival of Maika in Takumi Iroha, who represents the Marvelous promotion. Actually, what's interesting here is these two previously tagged together, so I'm curious to see how far Hyan's learned versus Takumi Iroha. We also have Red Velvet and Thunder Rosa stirring it up with Viva Von and Lacey Lane tonight. Viva Von and Lacey Lane, their first time together as a tag team. And Viva Van, of course, coming off an incredible effort against Red Velvet, who still holds the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Might be looking to put herself back in the conversation for the title. And speaking of titles, as I said, the Ring of Honor World Television Championship will be on the line in a triple threat match with a fall from the crew as Leo Rush, the Blackheart, he will go after Action Andretti and AR Fox in a triple threat match, as AR Fox has been a fighting champion since beating Nick Wayne. It's a triple threat match where the champion does not be involved in the decision to lose the championship. We also have the AEW International Championship on the line as Big Shy Lee Johnson looks to take his shot one more time at gold. This time against the Alpha, as Konosike the Cash Cow will defend the AEW International Championship tonight in singles action. And of course, that is all speared ahead with a big 8-man tag with the Don Kyle's fans for Punky Vice and the Lethal Trist, the franchise Jay Lethal and Blake Christian, taking on 2/3 of what used to be known as Jet Speed Mistico, of course, in Mistico and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum in an 8-man tag. And that is your card ahead this evening for the special edition of Ring of Honor on Honor Club, exclusively with Ring of Honor Global War Cincinnati. And again, if you want to watch along, become a subscriber today. Subscribe, watch ROH.com, join Honor Club. It's that magical number of $9.99 a month. And you not only get tonight's show, you get all the Ring of Honor archives, previous pay-per-views, and the next coming month of Ring of Honor tapings. Of course, we look towards when Death Before Dishonor will be. So I hope that you all enjoy this unique interpromotional exhibition showcase of professional wrestling from the Queen City. Damn it. In my neck of the woods right here in Ohio. So let's have a freaking good time. And I also want to thank everybody that tuned in last night for our continued coverage of the Owen Hart Foundation tournaments, as well as AEW over the last several weeks. Of course, we'll be back here this Saturday on Collision, covering the last of the semifinals in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament, as Athena, whether or not she still is Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, big what if, will, of course, be defending her right this year to go to the finals against the very person that eliminated her last year in the quarterfinals in It Girl Maya World, her greatest pupil, of course, representing MPX and, of course, representing also the tag team of Hyan and Maya World, and, of course, doing this for her family on behalf of her fallen brother. But that being said, that's Saturday. Tonight is Thursday, and I'm leaving you with a Global War Cincinnati showcase. So let's get right into it as Eric Kabani brings us into the festivities from the Andrew J. Brady Music Center. And shout out to Ava Kabani and Caprice Coleman, the immortal voices of Ring of Honor. As, of course, we'll take it down to Bobby Cruz here shortly to introduce our first match. As it looks like Leo Rush wants to spin a tail to begin with. This character metamorphosis of Leo Rush is just bizarre, but one of a kind. And truth be told, like MJF said, it's got him TV time, and he sticks to this dynamic personality no matter where he wrestles, whether it's the UK or whether it's somewhere in Mexico or across the independents. And of course, we've seen the fallout with the crew ever since Leo Rush donned this Blackheart attire, and Action Andretti and Leo Rush used to wear those inflatable jackets. Like Leo Rush says it's fine. Of course, we saw Leo Rush take AR Fox on one-on-one at literally Supercard of Honor, and it was Action Andretti that cost Leo Rush the match that night and basically said that that night the crew was dead. Meanwhile, AR Fox has been a defending champion against the likes of Ace Austin, Tony Nese, and a fatal four-way matchup, and once again finds himself preferably not in the driver's seat, as of course tonight he could lose his championship without being in the decision. While Leo Rush says it's fine. I don't think it's fine, but that's just my opinion. Oh. Well, the Ring of Honor World Television Championship kicking things off here as Action Andretti proceeds into action with an Honor Club record of 36-12 as we kick things off with our triple threat match. And of course, no feelings lost between Action Andretti or AR Fox for that matter. Action Andretti, who came back to Ring of Honor after an exhibition grudge match with AR Fox, where both men brought the best out of each other. Now Action Andretti has gone to business for himself. course, Ashton Andretti, primarily known out of the Maryland Championship Wrestling area, lest you all forget once upon a time. And Ashton Andretti looking for his first piece of gold here in Ring of Honor and AEW, probably at the expense of his former tag team partner. Sometimes in this business, you got to go into it for yourself, even if it means a selfish demeanor. Now, whether or not you go dark ways, that's a whole different conversation when it comes to what Lio Rush has channeled. His inner golem, it feels like. Even Orange Cassidy is freaked out by Lio Rush. Figure that if you don't look at him or you don't move, he doesn't see you. Multifaceted, high-octane individual with the greatest of velocity. Former, of course, X-Division champion for TNA and a former WWE Cruiserweight champion. The man of the hour, if he still is that. Second time now that Lio Rush is finding himself in a Ring of Honor World Television Championship match. I still wonder if Action Dre didn't get involved in that. Would Lio Rush have upset AR Fox that night at Supercard of Honor? He had a very realistic chance of literally winning the title that night. We've also seen Lio Rush involved in House of Glory, of course, going after the House of Glory Cruiserweight title against Darren Richardson. And, of course, we've seen him also involved on Diamante against the likes of Roosh, Tommaso Ciampa, and Mark Briscoe. Sharp ring IQ for the man of the hour, looking to become the face of Honor. As we go to Bobby Cruz, introducing the champ, AR Fox. AR Fox right now coming on an incredible single record of 9-1. AR Fox, of course, who probably surprised many people after winning the Ring of Honor World Television Championship on the Fairway to Hell special for Ring of Honor a few weeks ago before Nick Wayne went off to the Best of Super Juniors. Already coming against Tony Nese, Desmond Xavier, Shane Taylor, fatal four-way matchup, and now finds himself in a triple threat. Once again, AR Fox against the world. Very familiar territory, of course, for this fighting champion. Going into already what I believe is his fourth defense. And there you see, of course, the title being held up. Again, both triple threat matches, no countouts, no disqualifications. First pinfall submission inside the ring wins the title. It's been champion now for 33 days. And this will actually mark his sixth defense tonight. Definition of not leaving yourself in park. See if the Code of Honor is in here too. Referee for this contest, Mike Posey, and Action Andretti showing dishonor already as the bell rings, and we're officially underway here. It's honestly a tale of two matches here when you think about it. Action Andretti came back to once again find himself, and he used AR Fox to do that. Lio Rush, of course, who donned this black heart demeanor, has been looking for glory at the expense of AR Fox since setting his sights on the Ring of Honor Television Championship. I have no idea what he just said. Maybe Lio Rush is trying to game plan something against Action Andretti with the help of AR Fox, since Action Andretti is on the outside. I mean, unique alliances are bound to have a triple threat. It looks like Lio Rush and AR Fox have found a common enemy here, or maybe a common nuisance. I'm sure AR Fox still wants to face Lio Rush one-on-one and see who's the better guy. Things pick it up inside the ring. Again, no blink in this match, folks. Standing switches change, and Lio Rush grabbing the arms of AR Fox, sidestep, and Lio Rush goozling Action Andretti in the corner, and miscommunication with a noggin knocker with Lio and AR. And Action Andretti, if he could exploit the emotion of his former tag team partner while also getting in the head of the champion, he very well could seize the title here tonight. Big boot, jumping AR, Kitsuguri by AR Fox, and so far Action Andretti put on the outside. And of course, as Ring of Honor Night brings you Global Wars, stay tuned when we bring you forward to the Forbidden Door 1 week from Sunday here at the Silver Studios. Forbidden Door, of course, will be in San Jose, California. Headline matches include but not limited to Deck Lover, Starlight Kid, and of course, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenny Omega, and both finals of the Owens. Off the ropes. No one home there. Cartwheel, roll up, escape, went for the boot. Lio Rush and AR Fox both trying to keep pace with each other. Both met with the same idea with the net breaker. Oof. Action Andretti jumping in, though, with a double stunner. Double back handspring stunner. And Andretti right now looking to cut. AR Fox has run short. The side step. Leo runs with the door on the outside. And AR Fox up the ring, pulls with the wall kick moonsault, wiping out Leo Rush. Everybody here put out all the stops early here. What I love about this match, though, especially in Ring of Honor, is the dynamic elements of each athlete in here. Of course, AR Fox coming in here with the most experience. And AR Fox, by the way, is the 36th Ring of Honor World Television Champion in this title's illustrious history. Following the likes of many a men, both in and out of Ring of Honor, globe-trotting, of course, Adam Cole, Matt Taven, Jay Lethal, Roderick Strong, Tomoyoshi Kushida, Netbreaker, Shane Taylor, Jeff Cobb, just to name a few. And actually, Andretti spring up the top rope, went for the moonsault, lands on his feet. Get to the midsection, catch the champion with a DDT. Right on that raised partition that levels the ring. Again, we have so much here, folks, to come tonight. You will see, of course, Maika versus Diamante. Konosike Takeshita take on Lee Johnson, the AW National Championship. You will see tag team action with Los Factions Ingobernables taking on Los Villanos from CMLL. And, of course, we have our Ring of Honor Women's World Championship match to come. Athena going one-on-one with Syuri for the second time ever, representing Stardom. And Leo Rush right now, wait, somewhere. Is that the Umbrella? Okay, I don't know if opening an umbrella indoors is bad luck or good luck or not. And Leo Rush, I mean, I guess there's no qualification. I guess you could use it. Uh-oh. Action Andretti broke Leo's umbrella. Look at the wide-eye stare of Leo Rush, the soulless stare. Get to the midsection. Action Andretti not being so far thrown by it, throwing Leo Rush into the barricade. The absolute visceral that Action Andretti has towards Leo Rush, where Action blames Leo for the breakup of the crew because he left him alone when he decided to go into this black heart demeanor. Oof! They're just stomping down right now on Leo Rush here. And again, Action Andretti, if anyone's going to know Leo Rush better than himself, it's probably going to be his former tag team partner for the better part of what feels like the last year. Ever since Action Andretti left Top Flight, and Top Flight, of course, became Skyflight. Worst right now case scenario for the champion. Champion not being involved in the action or against either competitor here. Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Whoa, gosh! Good grief, AR Fox flying in with a freaking cannonball. Dive into the outside. World Television Champion taking flight tonight, showing Dante Martin run for his money. And now it's AR Fox and Action Andretti isolated inside the ring. Sidestep, Irish whip, up and over. Able to create separation. Action Andretti on the move. AR Fox, though, able to be evasive. Takes the legs out. Again, the innovative offense that AR Fox brings that many people can't game for, but also have literally applied to their own wrestling IQ. Now capturing the head inside, hoisted up, inside cradle, small package by Action Andretti at 2 count as Leo Rush was about to come in. Now Leo Rush with the schoolboy roll up and Action Andretti. Caught though, and AR Fox trying to take advantage. It's a 2 count. And spring. And once again, AR Fox and Leo Rush together. Oh! Stab stunner there at AR Fox for Leo Rush. Action Andretti looking to fly. Hey, with the lariat. Flying clothesline laid in hard with that forearm. Whew. Andretti not going for the cover, instead just grounding Leo Rush. I almost feel like that Action Andretti wants to do a cover. 2 count only. I almost feel like it's cover now with the back press on both legs. But covers of Action Andretti trying to wear down Leo Rush. It feels like Action Andretti is both trying to win a championship and embarrass Leo Rush or prove that he was the better man in that duo. Just trying to find opportunity where he can and find success from it. The best revenge, of course, would be served here by Action Andretti, where not only he pins AR Fox, but he does at the expense of Leo Rush's offense. Oh, man! Leg hook. 2 count only. Off that bottom rope springboard corkscrew splash. The fact that Action Andretti also hasn't isolated himself with just one individual, but has constantly attacked both men here, goes to show that Action Andretti realizes that he can't take neither competitor for granted. Blackheart almost laughing, though, at Action Andretti, and now Action just trying to instigate the champion. And knife-edge chop, AR Fox down to one knee. Comes to that confidence of this young, bright, brash upstart. Trying to get into that champion's head, though. Again, though, you don't want to waste time when the gold's on the line here. And AR Fox right now looking for a comeback. Irish whip, hard Irish whip to action in the corner. AR on the move. Catching with the clothesline and hooking it. Oh, and solidly a rush in the back of his peripheral. Catching with a back elbow. Scans the cat into the pendulum drop kick. Oh, it falls out with a cut out of nowhere. Great time by AR Fox catching. Action Andretti with another cut out of nowhere. And Fox up top with a swanton bomb. Cover to retain tonight, and it broken up by Leo in the last seconds. It's that extra element there that is so instrumental in what could lead to a new champion. Now these vicious cross faces by Leo Rush. The crowd getting behind Leo Rush as well. They bought into this Blackheart personality. It's intriguing if nothing else. Possibly looking for the backdrop suplex. AR Fox fighting back, pulling the elbow back of the head. Leo Rush with the bottom rope, looking for rush hour. AR Fox counting it though, splits out from the legs. Swing and a miss, counter. Combination offense, all levels by Leo Rush. And Leo on the move runs in AR Fox's big boot. AR Fox able to beat Leo Rush to the punch, or in this case, Tornado DDT holding on to him. And oh man! Anarchist suplex, twisting neckbreaker, take down into a 2.5. Whoa! AR Fox pulling out the greatest hits and some new ones. The fact of the matter that a champion continues to evolve the longer they hold that title goes to the testament of the confidence that AR Fox has found since winning the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Now the pump handle by Action Andretti, hooking up AR Fox, able to escape. Saw Andretti coming through. Goes underneath Leo Rush. Leo Rush, sidestep, Irish whip, sidestep by Action of Leo. All three of these men right now trying to get the better. Modified high-low by the crew there as the crew work together in that split second. Now, Leo Rush and Action Andretti face-to-face for the first time since the fallout at Supercar of Honor, where Action cost Leo that night. And clearly, Cincinnati further behind the Blackheart here. Action Andretti getting the better of this exchange, though. Combination offense with the rolling elbow, rising knee. Now, hooking up Leo Rush. Leo Rush, the sidestep, able to escape. Off the ropes, bottom up again. Looking for a rush hour. Basement stunner, cover by Leo. Do we have a new champion? Check out at 2 by Action Andretti. Whoa. That sun and snap cutter right now. Leo Rush going to where he is most comfortable, like a gargoyle. AR Fox, though, meeting Leo Rush, and both these men in the high-risk district. Oh, wait a minute, Leo Rush buying the head of AR Fox, taking him out of the equation. Action Andretti in the drop zone. Wait for the final hour, able to escape. And Action, hooking up Leo Rush, the backslide, roll through, and oh! Kick, fresh kick. Andretti now hooking up Leo. Falcon Arrow! Hasn't done the deal like hot kick at 2. This is just our first match of the night, by the way. Whew. Great combination there by Action Andretti. Now hooking up AR Fox, scorpion kick. Pump handle, hooking up the champion. Oh! Pump handle, side slam, 2.5. Nearly got it there. And kudos to AR Fox and Action Andretti, both constantly being aware where both the other competitors are. Action Andretti, though, in firm control of both the champion and the other challenger. Now, Action might be looking for a 2-for-1 special here. Might be looking to pin both men here at once. Both AR Fox and Leo Rush down, and Action Andretti on the rise. Will his stock lead the profits, or will he plummet to his own downfall? And Lio Rush meeting Action Andretti on the ascent. And again, Leo calling AR Fox. We've seen this unique communication and this trust of respect, it feels like, between Lio Rush and AR Fox for a little while now, especially during this match. And front face lock, and Action Andretti gouging the eye, of both men. Action Andretti off the top rope. Woo. Oh, and caught in the middle of a super kick party. Oh, God, AR Fox, Lio Rush collide, and all three men down. Whoa. At the end of the day, only one man can call themselves champion. Unique moments of a common foe aside, it's still every man for themselves, and all three men down here right now in our opening match tonight at Global War Cincinnati. And of course, ROH Global Wars, the international showcase of talent. And our opening contest showing a very unique summit of talent here. Action Andretti, AR Fox, then Lio Rush. The forearm connects. It's almost like a triangle effect here from one point to the other. Lio Rush meets Action Andretti. Action Andretti meets Lio Rush. And Action hits AR, etc. And now AR Fox trying to get the better of both, getting his shots in. Big boot to Action Andretti sideways and takes Lio Rush down. Able to bring this. Oh, man, and a low blow straight in the uprights. Better than a Cincinnati Bengal by Action Andretti to the champion. And now squaring up against Lio Rush. Shotgun drop kick in the corner. And the Action Andretti split leg moves up. Lio Rush rolled inside the spear. Rush with the spear off the bottom rope. Basement stunner connects, holds on. Reverse lash chancery of Action Andretti. The lights might be going out here for Action Andretti. Will we have a new champion here? Mere seconds away. How long can Action last? And Fox breaking it up and saving his championship. The only way that AR Fox could make sure he was still in the conversation. Another basement stunner by Lio Rush wiping out AR. Action Andretti looking for the schoolboy roll-up. Got the tights too. Nearly stole it. A sidestep, flash roll up. Whoa! Rolling kick from the basement there by Lio Rush, breaking through. Action Andretti hoisting him up. Black Thunder bomb to Lio Rush is the new champion! I don't believe it! AR Fox can't believe it! The Blackheart is the new Ring of Honor World Television Champion, and he pinned Action Andretti to do it! Lio Rush earning, winning, and seizing his first title in Ring of Honor! And a breakneck pace speed, by the way, for all three of these men. This ridiculously awesome opening triple threat. Congratulations to the Blackheart, Lio Rush, the new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. The 37th in Ring of Honor history. Talk about bringing yourself to light. Blackheart Lio Rush is your new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. Good luck to that division. Wow. Well, as we open the doorway to new champions possibly being crowned tonight, again, I want to remind you all the Cincinnati Studios is going to be full throttle, all in next week on all things wrestling, especially when it comes to the Forbidden Door, where New Japan, Stardom, CML, and AEW will all be under one roof, and we will see who will go all in to Wembley Stadium for the greatest of glory in All Elite Wrestling. Forbidden Door, 1 week from Sunday, exclusively on HBO Max, and of course, pay-per-view satellite cable providers. As action continues forward here, we get ready now for women's tag team action. And possibly we might see Viva Van or Lacey Lane try to enter that forbidden door in some way as they go in their first tag team match together. And Lacey Lane, of course, who recently came into Ring of Honor as part of the crew, is now also all on her own and also has aspirations to possibly go after the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship or the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Referee for this contest will be Rick Knox. And again, folks, there you have it. We have a brand new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. As the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Damn, did he earn it. Congratulations, Leo Rush. As we get ready to stir it up, straight out of your mama's kitchen, taking on a very defiant Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion who is currently undefeated in Ring of Honor right now, 10-0, Red Velvet. And of course, you see the way she dons that boxing-style robe, as of course, coming from a boxing background in her family. And they're teaming alongside Mera from the Rosa, who in herself is already an international interpromotional trailblazer. From the Rosa, of course, who came recently back to Ring of Honor with a record of 3-0, and as previous challenger to Athena's crown, the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. I gotta wonder though if Thunder Rosa maybe has her eyes set also on Red Velvet's red strap. This should be a great tag team match though. Good to see Thunder Rosa back in action after she was gone for such a long time with that back injury as well, where Fekla tried to injure her back again. Referee McNaughts, of course, for this contest. Bell rings are underway. Code of honor adhered to by all four women. I love seeing that. Viva Van and Red Velvet, of course, who tore it up and stirred it up at Supercard of Honor, where Viva Van came that damn close to beating Red Velvet. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a rematch here, or possibly a preview of another match to come. I wouldn't mind seeing these two stir it up again. And Viva Van and Red Velvet both on the move. And the shoulder block by Viva Van, the Hellbent Vixen. Here's the cover, lateral press, and Red Velvet bridges out. Viva Van, of course, a student of the NJPW Academy. And Viva Van vision out on her own. And whatever you can do, I can do better. Pretty much a Gimlet Huntsmanship. The story of their match from Supercard of Honor. Schoolgirl gets a 2 count. Woo! And again, folks, be part of the conversation at SR Studios 24. Follow us today on the X and use the hashtag WatchROH or hashtag Honor Club or hashtag Global Wars. Whoa! Stereo Drought Kids be part of the conversation on the X. Viva Van in control right now of Red Velvet. Tag mates Lacey Lane. This is the first time ever, by the way, that Lacey Lane and Viva Van have worked together as a tag team. Now hoisting her up. Nice stalling vertical, but Red Velvet able to escape. Meeting the mines there. Getting the better of Lacey Lane with that single leg drop kick. Catching her flush in the face. Now driving Lacey Lane to their corner. Tag mate La Mera from the Rosa. Former AEW Women's World Champion. And, of course, Mission Pro Champion. Standout in MMA. Oof! Knife edge chop from the Rosa La Mera, one of the most disciplined individuals in this business. Right across the collarbone there with that shot. Irish whip reversal. Sent off and almost lost her footing. Able to escape up and over. And Lacey Lane. Nice arm drag there by Thunder Rosa, getting the better of Lacey Lane, throwing her off her game. Good exchange here so far with these two. Swing and a miss on the clothesline, off the ropes. A little bit misdirection, catching Thunder Rosa with a stiff knee to the midsection. Lock applied, standing switch exchange here. And of course, Lacey Lane, last time we saw her in Ring of Honor, she was, of course, taking on Queen Aminata. Cover here by Lacey. Gets a 2 count off the bottom rope. Springboard missile, springboard drop kick. Down goes Thunder Rosa. Hook the near leg. Back press. Gets a 2 count again. Lacey Lane, of course, during her short tenure here in Ring of Honor, has also faced off against Persephone for the CMLL World Women's Championship on Honor Club. And Lacey Lane and Red Velvet tying Thunder Rosa up in the ropes. Excuse me, Viva Van tying up Thunder Rosa in the ropes. Little double team offense here. A sunset flip. And of course, we've kind of seen a surge of women's tag teams, especially when we have Honors late. Nice rolling copy kick in the cover, a hook of the leg. Gets a 2 count. You figure about Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron. You figure about the inspiration. I mean, And you figure about, again, our dominant AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. There's a lot of teams that could be a force to be reckoned with against Megan Bayne and Lita Cross with enough experience and wins under their belt where maybe they want to try and take them on their 5-minute Dominion Challenge. Of course, that went so well for Taiji. Nice neckbreaker takedown there by Thunder Rosa. The depth of the Ring of Honor Women's Division, though, is absolutely stacked. And right now, Lacey Lane in a world of trouble against Thunder Rosa is teeing up again against Lacey Lane in the corner, former party girl alongside, of course, Casey Gonzaro. Average whip. Smart tag team move there, sending her into her corner. And Thunder Rosa on the move. Caught her with a clothesline, tag made to Red Velvet. Now Red Velvet in. And bringing that boxing bracket into play, teeing up against Lacey like a body bag here with the lefts and rights to the core. Oh, those long legs almost missing their mark there. And sometimes the recipe doesn't necessarily follow the measurements. Tag made. Thunder Rosa. Pendulum knee drop. As Lacey Lane right now does not want to be sitting against the bomb. Thunder Rosa's on the move with that drop kick. Running through her chest. And of course, the whiplash against that steel cable. High stack. 2 count only. The fact that all that pressure was on a single leg versus both legs, though, might have played to Lacey Lane's advantage, despite the fact that more of Thunder Rosa's weight was on the right side of her body, pressing her down. Red Velvet, though, trying to take advantage from behind, though. With a snatch of the hair, pays for with a cheap shot. Lacey Lane hoisting up Thunder Rosa. Blind tag made. Don't know if Lacey's aware of it, though. Elbows to the side of the head. Thunder able to escape. The roll up on Lacey Lane, who's not legal. Nice. Oh, set up there into the DDT for Red Velvet. Shoots the half. Brings it towards center. Hook on the far lane. The cover. Rick Knott. Oh. Basement slide drop kick by Viva Van to the hip. Breaking up that decision. Although it did look like Lacey Lane might have kicked out. Sunset. Leapfrog, excuse me. Went for the stomp. Able to sweep the leg. And Lacey Lane with the basement kick. Hooking the near leg on the champion. Gets a 2 count. And Lacey Lane has been heavily involved in this match for her team. She needs to make a tag to Viva Van, in my opinion. It's one of those things, though, especially as a former tag team specialist. Well, that was a great move. Nice modified. Oh, DVD with a leg drop. And Thunder Rosa comes in with a running knee strike to break it up. Never seen that before by Lacey Lane. Oh! Thunder Rosa taken down with that double hook DDT. High kick, though. Catch Viva Van and the 2 legal women in play. Running thrust kick by Lacey Lane. Wipes up Red Velvet. Sits in the cover. Deep hook of the leg. And nearly pinned the Ring of Honor World Women's Television Champion. Doesn't get closer to that without the bell ringing. Lacey Lane, of course, was Red Velvet's first challenger, by the way, for those that don't know, when Red Velvet won that title back against Mercedes Moné last year at Final Battle. After your first Proving Ground match. Lasted 5 of the 10 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Van sits in the cover. 2. Red Velvet able to reverse. Traps both legs. 2. Able to escape, though. Backhand connects. Rocks the champion. And Thunder Rosa nowhere in Red Velvet's corner. Red Velvet might be out, actually. Right on the side of the jaw. Once again, Viva Van might be looking for that finisher. If she was able to hit this finisher at Supercard of Honor, she possibly could have been the champion here. Thunder Rosa, though, legal. Viva Van unaware of it, though, despite the electric chair backdrop into the bridging pin. Again, non-legal competitor. Now Thunder Rosa taking advantage, wiping out Lacey Lane. And Thunder Rosa looking to finish feints here. Double underhook. Uh-oh. Here it goes. Oh! Package, fire, and done! Send it back to Tijuana with that freaking variation of a package power bomb. Red Velvet, Thunder Rosa, great dynamic here tonight, but also strong effort by Lacey Lane and Viva Van in their first outing as a duo here. wouldn't mind seeing Thunder Rosa and Red Velvet team up more. Maybe take them down to CMLL and have them take on Persephone and a partner of her choosing. Smart awareness, by the way, by Thunder Rosa to make the tag to Red Velvet, who was being set up, of course, for that hell-bent lock. And if it wasn't for that tag, I think Revenge could have been the champion there and won this tag bout. As Red Velvet, of course, waits to see who's next. And of course, our main event still to come in tonight, as I said, a rematch from the New Beginning USA. It was February 27th, where Athena took on Stardom's best and the IWGP Women's Champion, Syuri. And Syuri got the better of the Fallen Goddess that night. It was a very taxing affair, as Athena was looking to conquer a different world as she has dominated over the World of Honor. It's Athena's only pinfall loss this calendar year, and she's looking to avenge it tonight in our main event, still to come. As one of Athena's most loyal minions, or one of her most loyal newest minions, might I add, that came into play, honestly, since Final Battle last year, Diamante, who's on a 2-0 winning record right now in singles action, non-pure, might I add, in Ring of Honor, after falling short against the Virtuosa, Diana Purrazzo, for the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship. Diana Purrazzo, by the way, who is still the inaugural champion and undefeated in Pure Rules, a foundation that she literally set from ground zero. Diamante is looking to show that she's more than just a rookie, or should I say a minion, the meanest out of the 305. Taking on one of Stardom's strongest and best in Maika, former World of Stardom champion. And of course, previous bearer of the red belt, the strongest belt in Stardom, won the World Stardom ring. And of course, no stranger to Ring of Honor. We've seen her here before with a record of 1-0. I still cannot believe I missed all this incredible stuff in Cincinnati. But again, prayers over passions. And Maika, of course, who's had her fair share of injuries and problems, and also underwhelmment and self-challenges in her career, especially when it came against the likes of Suzuki at one point in what became a feud of sisters with Julia in the middle. This is going to be awesome. It's always great seeing Maika. She hits about as hard as Hiroki Goto, of course, trained by Taka Michinoku. So what? 7-year veteran at 28 years of age. And no code of honor here, too. Referee Mike Posey calls for the bell. And again, folks, use the hashtag ROH Global Wars. Be part of the conversation here and what we are covering. And again, let the conversation be known that we actually do believe in honor here at SR Studios 24. Bringing you the most honest, simply reliable coverage for all fans professional wrestling. And Maika and Diamante right now. If Diamante's smart, what she would do is use her leverage to her advantage and try and ground Maika just like that. And a little bit right now, disrespect there being shown by Diamante against the former World of Stardom champion, held the red belt, of course, for 212 days before Saya Kamatani betrayed her and she lost that title. Of course, coming off the dismissal of her faction, Empress Nexus Venus, after a fallout with Viva de Bloco, of course, Suzuki's faction, and coming off that ridiculous hardcore war type match at Queendom. Nice shoulder block there by Maika, who obviously is trying to put her name out there as a key candidate to maybe win this year's 5-star Grand Prix, of course, Stardom's round robin tournament. Now off the ropes. And a rip down the hair by Diamante. Using that hair and sending Maika down hard the back of her head. About to say, Diamante's not in Florida, though. She's here in the Midwest. Ooh, kick to the hamstring. And hooking up Maika out of the corner into the DDT. Taking advantage there with the second rope as leverage. And the cover now with the forearm. Breaks across the face. The 2 count, says Mike Posey. And now mounting Maika, just teeing off here with these big rights. I do wonder, though, if Athena actually wants to see Diamante succeed, actually wants her to actually go after any sort of gold that is not her own, much like Billie Starkz, who many people was hopeful that she would be the one to seize that title, and still apparently fears or obeys Athena, despite the fact we've seen Billie Starkz try to stand out on her own, stop the midsection there. Of course, Billie Starkz also internationally disciplined. Recently was involved in Pro Wrestling Eve. Nice spinal tap kick going after the spine of Maika. Honestly, wouldn't mind seeing Billy Starks maybe get involved with the Stardom roster. I think she would fit with Suzuki's faction. Kick out at 2 there by Maika. And right now you see Maika checking to see if she has a stinger. See if there's any feeling right now in her hands or fingers. Trying to squeeze them. Trying to fight back from underneath, and again, kitchen sink knee to the midsection. Forces Maika up to her feet. Crazy Diamante, the Irish whip, reversal. And up and around, and Diamante. Oh, nice transition. In the Cyrus and leg sweep. Now the cover by Diamante again gets a 2 count there. Smart move by Diamante, though, constantly focusing assault on Maika's neck. And good to see, of course, everyone in the chat, whether you are, of course, speaking about it or just engaging with us and listening in on it. Shout out to Boys Clubhouse 621. And again, folks, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Tell people we cover Ring of Honor. Tell people we cover GCW. Tell people we cover TNA. Tell people we cover WWE. Tell people we cover NXT. Tell people we cover AEW. Tell people we cover Pro Wrestling Symphony. Tell people that we love independent wrestling. Tell the world that we engage in professional wrestling, damn it. Whether it's 1, 2, 5, 6, or 9 Yahoos on your YouTube screen or in your X feed. Inside headlock now be applied by Diamante. Of course, I cannot wait for this year's G1 Climax and 5-Star Grand Prix. Of course, the premier round robin tournaments on the Japanese wrestling scene, besides the M-Run Victory and Pro Wrestling Noah. And Diamante, but Maika hooking her up. Oh, wow. Stopped the brakes and ran in with a drop kick and a hard landing for Diamante from a seated position on the second rope. Stopping that momentum dead for the meters out of 305. Catches Diamante, slower to the punch, hoisting her up. Stalling vertical, Diamante able to escape though, kicking her legs. And now kick to the midsection. That's Maika over. Diamante on the move, and Maika catching her with the power slam. And Maika falling through with the sliding lariat. Sliding forearm, actually, it looked like. You see Maika right now, fired up here. And Maika right now, hoisting up Diamante, possibly for holding her up in position. Couldn't hold her up for that long, though. Starting vertical, now goes in the lateral and gets a 2 count. And of course, Maika very good at both the suplexes and the Michinoku driver. Of course, has a variation of that move called the Michinoku driver 2. Now trying to cut off the blood and oxygen to Diamante in the sleeper hold. And Diamante right now, desperate measures, rigging the eyes of Maika, forcing the break again and immediately going back after the head and neck, teeing off with these elbows. Now Diamante, but Maika, maybe misdirection. With a lariat there, T-bone collision. Now Diamante hoisted up, and Maika looking for Michinoku, and Diamante sensing danger. Set up for the German suplex with a French too! Almost pinned her. Wow. Beautiful low bridge there, by the way, too, allowing Diamante even more leverage on that hold. And now saying that she's going to put Maika away, calling for the end. Looking for maybe that dragon sleeper. Maika able to escape though. Push up Diamante in the ropes and oh man, discus lariat. And Maika now hoists up Diamante. Michinoku driver. Cover 2. That's it. I love that move. Takumi Michinoku be proud. Great debut in her singles debut in Ring of Honor, might I add. As, of course, the Stardom president, Toru Okada, has already told us that several talents in Stardom will be on excursion here in America. And Maika very well might be part of that conversation longer than expected with a win like that. Whew. Been an awesome night so far. And again, still so much more to come. And again, if you want to learn more about Ring of Honor, you, of course, can follow when we cover Ring of Honor's pay-per-views, including Final Battle. As, of course, we saw at Final Battle last year, it was, of course, Los Fantásticos Innovables taking advantage of Tommy Billington and Adam Priest holding on to the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, which are still in possession of Los Fashions Ingobernables. As we go down to tag team action in Arena Mexico in Mexico City with CMLL. Looking at a match that happened, of course, last week, Friday night in Arena Mexico, actually. This is interesting. I didn't expect this on tonight's docket. I love when I get more than what I'm expected. Los Vaz. I'm just listening to the Spanish announce team just introduce them. That's why I'm quiet. Los Villanos, by the way, the combination of El Kiko del Vikingo III and Villano III Jr. have been a tag team in CMLL now for the better part of about a year. And of course, in CMLL, most tag team contests usually involve best 2 out of 3 falls. I always love the CMLL presentation. Los Villanos accepting the challenge of the Beast Muertos, who last I heard was having visa issues, and Sammy Guevara, Los Fashion Monopolies, who have been looking to defend the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Yes, self-proclaimed Spanish god Sammy Guevara with more success than his wife Tamela after Ty J fell short against Divine Dominion. Of course, Los Fashion Monopolies, this combination, Sammy Guevara and Beast Muertos, are the 71st Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, have held these titles now for 196 days. And this will mark their 4th defense after beating the Colognes and Top Flight since seasoning these titles against Adam Priest and Tommy Billington when the titles was vacated due to Rush's shoulder injury. Yeah, Beast Muertos finally holding gold here for the first time in a long time in his career. And if you want to learn more about CMLL, you can also, of course, stay tuned. We cover, of course, Grand Slam Mexico once again. Sammy Guevara and the Beast Muertos, by the way, coming into a Ring of Honor record as a tag team of 4-0. That capacity crowd there. CMLL, of course, the oldest promotion in the world, actually. 92 years of age. I know what that means. That means, ladies and gentlemen. Lucha. Ring announcer, of course, explaining what this match is about and what's on the line here. It's almost feel like I was being serenaded there by that ring announcer. Hell of an introduction for this match. The bell has sound, and this tag team championship match is officially underway. Of course, it doesn't matter where Sammy Guevara is in the world, whether it's Scotland, Japan, Mexico, Canada, he's still an asshole. The fact that Sammy Guevara has literally betrayed every person that he felt was trying to become a bigger talking point than him in his career speaks volumes, lest you forget. Of course, Dustin Rhodes and him previously were the tag team champions. As the Sons of Texas, it was Dustin Rhodes that reignited Sammy Guevara's career, for being perfectly honest. And then Sammy Guevara, of course, joined Los Fashion Monopolies after portraying the Von Erichs, became tag team champion alongside Rush. And of course, Rush had a shoulder injury when the titles were vacated, so Sammy Guevara and the Beast Muertos stepped up to the plate. Beast Mortals doing most of the work. And there you, of course, see the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships there that are on the line at ringside. And clearly, Sammy Guevara is not a welcome friend of Mexico. The younger brother apparently kicking things off here. So apparently, according to Ian Riccaboni, to try and figure out who the younger and the older one is. The younger one apparently is in the ring. The older one is on the apron. The older one also has a tattoo on their arm. So you could just call them Villano 1 or Villano 2. You could go with whatever names you want in Espanol or English here, folks. Interesting. We got the younger dynamics of both teams starting off here. And Sammy's showing off with the nice forward somersault. I'll give the young man credit. Former TNT champion, of course. Los Villanos, by the way, were formerly the CMLL Arena Coliseo Tag Team Champions for 728 days after defeating La Hoja Negra, Akuma, and Esperanza Jr. back at CMLL's 81st Anniversary Arena event. And Hurricane Rana had to escape, though, by Sammy Guevara. And Villanos apparently extended family, as most factions in Mexico, most bloodlines in Mexico, most family lineages in Mexico kind of are. Sweep the leg by Sammy, though, picking the ankle. Great balance here and agility here so far by Sammy and Tracy Jr. Oh, God, a headbutt to the heart. Boom! Here comes Trace Jr. now coming in. Same with his brother. Swinging a miss. The Beast Mortos coming into play. A lot more leniency, by the way, in the rules of Tag Team Lucha Libre down in Mexico, folks. Spinning kick there, catching the Beast. And Trace Jr. off the ropes, flying in with a crossbody. Again, Trace Jr., folks, is the one that is in the ring and also with the tattoo. Beast Mortos now on the move. And sidestep, up and around, take over. Oop, nope, pushed him off the ropes. Mortal leapfrog there. It might be looking for a T-bone collection. Pounce! Good grief. Great change of direction there by the Beast Mortos, putting this match back in his favor. Of course, Los Villanos lost the CMLL Arena Corazon Tag Team titles to Los Hermanos at CMLL's 83rd anniversary event back in April this year. I feel like the fans are saying bendejo. I don't think you need a translator to know what that word means, folks. But again, I will give Sammy and the Beast Mortos credit despite Sammy's brash arrogance. He literally has said he wants to defend these titles. Maybe just, again, feed his own ego, but at least he wants to actually present these championships. And now Sammy Guevara looking to preserve the titles, going up to the top rope, Junior, and never mind, double stop. Yeah, classless act there by Sammy Guevara, who was applauding his work. Ooh, there goes Tracina. Again, right now, the Junior Villano. I'm just going to go with Villano Junior, Villano Senior here. Oh, God. An open palm strike might just stop Villano Senior's heart. Oh, looking for the double leg, though. Junior trying to take down Sammy. Sammy calling for the Beast Mortos. Sense of urgency. Open palm strike there as the tag champs in firm control of the challengers here. Guevara on Trace Senior. Damn it, Ian. And right now going after the mask, the sacrilegious. Trying to unmask him. Again, that won't really deal for a disqualification down in Mexico, though, because, of course, this is for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But, of course, Lionel doesn't want to be embarrassed here by Sammy or the Beast Mortos. Double team offense here in the corner as the chance right now literally stomping a mud hole into Villano. And right now, Villano going in the Irish whip. Beast Mortos. Oh, it's up and over at the knee. Oh, and a super kick catch Sammy. Critical error there by the champions. And what is Villano Sr. thinking here? And Villano right now looking over the top. Top maker. Hello, warming out Sammy Guevara. Oh, look at the top. Villano Jr. right now literally encouraging the fans of Mexico that we might see a change of the guard. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen Ring of Honor Gold held by someone in CMLL. Landis Jr., of course, former Ring of Honor World Television Champion here. Great change of direction, though, of the springboard. What I thought was going to be a moonsault turned basically into a swanton. Irish whip. Beast Mortal's now legal. Caught with a super kick. Villano's taking advantage now, isolating one half of the champions. Rose Beast through. Double Irish whip. Running knee strike. Rising knee. Follow-up single leg kick. Chris Jr. Balance on the second. Catching with the code breaker. Holding Beast Mortals in place. And Senior with the double stomp. Front and back offensive impact here by the Villanos. And Los Villanos clearly feeling like they're in the driver's seat, but again, they need to get to the finish line. I wonder how Mexico's doing actually in the World Cup right now. The fact of the matter, though, that this crowd in Mexico could be as rabid as possible for both the home team or the away team. Oof! Nice chop there by Junior. And Sammy calling for a timeout. Even in Mexico, Sammy, there aren't timeouts in wrestling. Look at that audience. And Los Villanos right now firmly got the crowd in their favor as much as they got the match in their favor. I wonder if they're more favored than the Atlantis is actually down there in CMLL. Irish whip. Sammy holds on to the ropes, though. Sends Villano one up. Catching Villano Jr., but Sammy sent up and over into Villano Sr. And what the world are they looking for here on the entranceway? Oh, boy. And Sammy Guevara right now might be literally a shot. But look at this. Are they going to literally throw Sammy off into the audience? Oh, no. Oh, no. Whoa! Drop down on the Beast Mortals. Skull-to-skull impact, as of course, sports bar correspondent J.J. Williams giving me a little bit of feed regarding the World Cup, where apparently South Korea will play Mexico at the top of the hour. If you want to see coverage of the World Cup, encourage it with Statboy Mikey T at the sports bar, the Speedball Studios. Let your voices be known. Let yourself be known in the conversation. If you want to direct the conversation or dictate it, Super Chat, People That Passion, as simple as that. I'm trying to strip away that protective harness of the Beast Mortals! And trying to tenderize that meaty chest. Feel all of that chop. And now both Villanos isolated with the Beast Mortals. Irish above the ropes. Beast Mortals up and over. Lands on his feet. Oh, breaks the banner. Wins both them out with a clothesline. The delay of Villano's partner coming in allowed the Beast Mortals to capitalize here. And now Sammy's looking to take advantage. And the Spanish God on the move, up and over. Taking out both of the Villanos. Both Villanos sent down right now to the lowest degree here in Mexico. And the Beast Mortals, wait a minute, the Beast Mortals isn't a flyer. And the Beast on the move. Pretty much a tornado's tope. And that tornado wiping out the Villanos here as the referee starts his 10 count. Again, look at the replay here. Amazing body control by Sammy up and over the top rope with the slingshot. And the Beast Mortals with the flying tornado through the second. Kawatamiguri. And Sammy rolls in. Into the cutter. And champion's in control. Villano springing inside, though. And Sammy, sit up and over, lands on the apron. Oof. Rising knee strike. Second rope on the inside, and oh, man! Head scissors, DDT, spiking Sammy. For the Beast, though, watch the Beast Mortals. Tilt to world. Mortals. Argentine, backbreaker, drop down over the knee. Oh, God, and rolling lariat. Dredge Jr. down. Now Chase Sr. back in. Oh, and a headbutt to the heart. That could literally break a man's sternum. Irish whip, Beast Mortals, pop up, went for the Samoan drop. Senior able to escape. Spinning so back in the midsection, rising knee, first kick. Beast Rot, though, still on his feet. And Villano, Senior, going off the ropes. Beast catching him again, up and around. Taken down with the DDT! And Sammy, though, catching with Enziguri, though, springing off the top. Oh, the springboard into the cutter! Looking for the cover, though. Meanwhile, Villano Jr. springboard double stomp to Sammy. It's Guevara, by the way, who I think's legal, and just a vicious slap to the back of the head by the Beast Mortos. The Junior, open palm strike, and the perspiration flies off. This is crazy. This crowd, I can't tell whether they're ready to riot or just booing Sammy out of Mexico here. Irish whip. Junior sent in the champion's corner, up and over. Beast Mortos lands on the apron. Big slap to the side of the head. Now the Beast on the ascent. Villano Jr. right now catching the Beast on the ascent. Oh boy. Villano up to the top rope, and Beast Mortos, I sense disaster. Oh boy. And Beast Mortos has the advantage over Handsbill! Power slam down to the mat. Just drop down hard like Commander. Now the Beast in the cover. Sammy step over. Come on, Mexican Destroyer. Uno, dos. No, kick out. Impressive resilience there by Villano Jr. taking a hell of a nasty fall. How the hell is Villano still in this match? And Sammy Guevara calling for the end game here, saying it's done. Villano's pleading to the faithful of Mexico to lend them their energy. And Villano Sr. now being hoisted up on Sammy's shoulders in the electric chair position. Beast Mortos right now in position, and Villano Sr. might be set up here. Again, I don't wonder if the Beast Mortos taking too long here, going for the... Oh, man! Escape the Doomsday Device! Cut Sammy! Poison Rana! Sidestep. Villano Jr. up and around on Beast Mortos' shoulder. Oh, taken down on Poison Rana! Double cover by the challenger! New champions kick out at two! Damn! Just that close! Come on! Again, like I said, we have literally seen Ring of Honor Gold change here before at Arena Mexico and CMLL. And it looks like a standing room only here. And thanks for that little sports note there to the Green Room producer. And once again, Villano's setting up the champions here for stereo offense. The headstand, second rope moonsault, split leg moonsault. Champions got out of the way though. Oh man, rising knee strike by Sammy. Wiping out Villano Jr. Size to the Beast Mortos pop-up. Samoa drop. Villano Sr. wiped out. Top rope splash by Sammy to the outside. And Beast Mortos drags Villano Jr. to the drop zone. And right now, Beast Mortos and Villano Jr., the only two men left in the ring. Beast Mortos on the top rope. Wow, corkscrew moonsault. Cover. Legs hooked. That's it. Ay, ay, ay. A hell of an effort, though, by Los Villanos, but credit where credit's due for Los Facciones Ingobernables as Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortos still hold on to the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. The Beast Mortos. Spanish announcer giving, of course, the official decision announcement. As the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships will, of course, be presented by the CMLL officials back to the winners. As Sammy Guevara and Beast Mortals take a selfie, because that's still a thing that's relevant in 2006 or 26. Was selfies gonna be relevant in 2006? I don't even know. A heck of a moment, though, for Ring of Honor and Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortals. Almost wonder if they actually will show Los Falanos any sort of respect. Well, a hell of a defense by the Beast Mortals and Sammy Guevara as they wait to see who will step up next in and out of Ring of Honor or Mexico. And speaking of people that step up tonight, 2 weeks ago, we saw Hyan step up against Athena. A couple weeks ago here on Ring of Honor, after taking over into that Koji clutch submission, though, Hyan had no choice but to tap out to the Fallen Goddess. And of course, exclamation point sent face first the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Looking to send a very painful message to the only person that has beaten her this year. Still so much more to come in tonight, folks. At Ring of Honor Global Wars, of course, the AEW National Championship will be defended by Konosike Takeshita against Lee Johnson. It was back at Double or Nothing, May 24, 2026, where the Alpha finally stopped the reign and proved that he was stronger and better than Kazuchika Okada. Now excommunicated from the Don Callis family, but looking to show exactly why he is the strongest going today in professional wrestling. As, of course, we have a whole lot more about the Don Callis family coming your way here, especially with Forbidden Door, considering implications regarding the AEW World Championship. As we now get ready, of course, for the AEW International Championship. And shout out again to Viva then, a commendable effort for a standout from the WWE Academy, and also a standout rising star representing the Philippines. Shout out to my ATW family and my buddy Lex, of course, who's from that neck of the woods. As she took her shot tonight, Lee Johnson looks to take his shot tonight against the Alpha. And Kyle Fletcher, of course, has also laid claim to season this title back for the Don Callis family. Imagine if Lee Johnson was able to take the title from Konosike Takeshita and Don Callis recruited Lee Johnson, of all people, to the Don Callis family. Talk about turning the wrestling world upside down and pissing off Kyle Fletcher and Kevin Knight even more, as we saw those two have not been on the same page as of late since the Jet became the newest member. And of course, the Alpha Konosike Takeshita is currently undefeated in Ring of Honor this year, 5-0, and is coming back from Japan at Dominion, successfully retaining his NWW World Television Championship. Still triple contracted, by the way, to DDT, AEW, and New Japan, and will be competing in this year's G1 Climax, defending his crown as last year's G1 Climax champion. As the Alpha again looks to prove that he's the strongest in all professional wrestling, unifying the wrestling business for what he believes it should be and what he can be. It looks so good to see that title around Konosike Takeshita's waist once again. Now a two-time AEW International Champion, of course. Huge opportunity, though, here for Big Shy Lee Johnson, who's taken his shot many a times for both AEW and Ring of Honor Gold. And, of course, under the influence now of the franchise of Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal, as part of the Lethal Twist, we'll see if Jay Lethal has given him any sort of guidelines in finding an Achilles heel with the Alpha, Konosike Takeshita. Referee for this contest, Rick Knox, calls for the bell in this match away. Whoa! Really went for the big boot. Lee Johnson quickly on the move, and both these men right now just jumping straight out of the gate. And Psylocke dropped down. Of course, the Alpha, Konosike Takeshita, heavily founded, of course, in the Japanese strong style discipline from the DDT Pro promotion, despite the fact he wanted to be part of New Japan since he was 8 years old, and always found himself underneath the ace of Roshi Tanahashi. Looking for the head scissors. And stalemate here in the early going right now. And of course, as Konosike Takeshita looks for revenge against the Don Callis family, you can look forward to AEW bringing you a redemption for the first time ever. And we will be covering that here Sunday, July 26th from Montreal, Quebec, Canada in the Century Bell Center. And of course, that will be our last stop for AEW goes all into the cathedral of not only football, but professional wrestling once again, Wembley Stadium in London. Takeshita not falling for Lee Johnson's tricks with the fake code of honor. Overhead shots, Irish whip. Reversal, of course, Lee Johnson, a student of the Nightmare Factory. Oh! Running drop kick sends the Alpha to the outside. Of course, Tiger joins his hands. We had pinfall submission inside the ring. Now Lee Johnson on the move, looking to fly over that top with that tope on Hilo. Goes for broke and wipes the Alpha out completely here. Blowing kisses, a little bit of moxie and maybe extra confidence here. Maybe too soon to show that, though, until you actually win the title, bruv. And the challenger right now doing it right, bringing the champion back inside the ring, slowing Konosuke down and keeping him off his feet. We've already seen Lee Johnson call this shot multiple times against Kyle Fletcher when Kyle Fletcher, of course, was Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And we saw his Lethal Twist partner, Blake Christian, call his shot against Bandito earlier this year at Supercard of Honor for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And Konosuke right now just taking these shots, not amused. And, of course, the discipline of strong style. Not to mention King's Road. Give a man 15 shots. I'll give you one back that will knock your lights out. You see Takeshita, though, going to those elbows in the corner, now mounting the challenger and just teeing off. But it's the first time we're seeing this title defended for the first time ever in Ring of Honor, as Kazuchika Okada once defended the Continental Championship here in Ring of Honor against A.R. Fox. Hard Irish whip, shoulder first into the corner. You heard Konosuke scream out in pain, by the way. And Lee Johnson back on the attack here, mounting the alpha, just teeing off here, pointing the elbow to the point of the head. And sometimes you need to develop your own attitude here when you're not doing it for the fans and you're doing it for yourselves. I mean, when you invest more in yourself, you actually might see, you know, a change there. And maybe Lee Johnson will get to that point, but I just don't think it's going to be against Konosuke. I've seen Konosuke discipline much harder than this, especially with the fallout with what we thought was his closest friend in what was literally the birth of the Don Callis family with Kyle Fletcher. Takeshita. Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke had a match on Rampage that defined the Don Callis family when Kyle Fletcher joined Don Callis and Konosuke. Nice elbow drop there. Sliding elbow covered by Lee Johnson. Gets a 2 count. A smart move by Lee Johnson, keeping the speed up, but also keeping his distance minimal against the Alpha. Now going for the sleeper hold. Trying to wear down Konosuke here. Yeah, crowd right now trying to put Konosuke back up to his feet as Lee Johnson has the champion right now in a vulnerable position. Trying to, of course, cut off the flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. Collapse the carotid artery. Elbows in the midsection. Arm whip, wrist lock takeover. Oh, man, pointed the toe right to Lee Johnson's jaw. Irish whip, throwing off. Oh, God, that's a Takeshita flying lariat. Beautiful flying clothesline, wiping Lee Johnson out. Unable to follow up, though. And right now, Konosuke looking to, once again, the will of the people, willing him back here. The same will that allowed him to beat Kazuchika Okada, double or nothing. That has allowed Konosuke to persevere in his absolutely incredible young career. Power slam dropped down by Konosuke and Lee Johnson right now. For those that don't know, Konosuke is only 31 years old, but involved in this game for 13 years. Whoa! And you see right now the damage done in this match as you saw Konosuke favoring his left leg. Let's see what Takeshita has left here. Lee Johnson, though, knows the vulnerability. Whoop! And Konosuke able to go all the way. Oh, man, what a running boot. Almost a Luba kick of sorts. Snap German out of the corner. Lee Johnson right now falling forward, but gets caught with a running boot. And Konosuke made it on the attack. Explosive suplex. And Konosuke linked in the middle of the ring and both men down. Whew, what an explosive exchange. Great sudden thinking there by Lee Johnson, immediately going on the attack against Konosuke after missing the high-risk move, but Konosuke immediately back on the attack with that running boot as both men with the same idea, taken down with a colliding lariat. And again, folks, I will be back here with you all Saturday night covering Collision in the conclusion of this year's Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament semifinals as Athena, whether or not she is still Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, will be defending her right to go to Forbidden Door against Maya World. That and so much more this Saturday on Collision. And thank you for those that are tuning into our coverage tonight. This special coverage of another great episode of Global Wars presented by Ring of Honor in conjunction this time with Stardom and CMLL, and still so much more to come in tonight. Big elbow strikes being exchanged here. Big forearms right now. I don't think Lee Johnson should get into a striking battle against Konosuke Takeshita. I'm just saying, oh, that one turned him around. And Konosuke got rocked a little bit there, it looked like. We've seen already the likes of Konosike Takeshita's year contend with freaking Shota Umino, Yoda Tsuji, John Moxley. Going for the run. Discus! And Lee Johnson beats Konosuke with that vicious elbow. Now East and West, and Lee went for rolling elbow of his own. Drops Konosuke to a knee. Went for the first kick. Konosuke, though. Oh, God! Straight murder with that world-class elbow strike. Dropping Lee to his knees. And it might be done now. Looking for a raging fire. Lee able to escape, though. Catching Konosuke with a poison rana. And Lee on the move. Watch out with a lariat. Inside, outside down. Hooking up Lee. Kick on two by Lee. Good God. How the hell did Lee kick out of that? How the hell did Lee know how to kick out of that? Whoa. The fact of the matter that Lee didn't clutch his neck. Rotation on that as well. And Konosuke using the ropes to get back up to his feet. Crowd chanting, this is awesome. I agree. This is professional wrestling. And Lee Johnson right now channeling his inner Bushido. Black and Konosuke looks for the power drive. Oh, Lee able to scout it. Schoolboy. Roll up. 2 count. Back to the feet. Both men on the move. Big boot. Catching Lee. Now Konosuke on the move. Lee Johnson looking to follow suit, though. Sidestepping Lee. Oh, runs in with the cutter. Lee Johnson once again follows through with the first kick. Now looking to hook up Konosuke. Konosuke. Brainbuster! Cover hook of the leg. We got a new champ. Kick on 2.5 by Konosuke. Incredible awareness and a strong show of offense, but even a stronger will of resilience being demonstrated here by both Lee Johnson and Konosuke Takeshita in what I believe is their first ever one-on-one encounter. Somehow Lee Johnson was able to follow through with that ridiculous vertical drop brainbuster, shout of Tomoshi of sorts here. Both men back to their feet, or excuse me, Lee Johnson back to his feet, and already Konosuke Takeshita, of course, this is his second defense after outlasting Daniel Garcia on Collision, and he's been champion now for only 26 days. Now Lee possibly looking to hoist up Konosuke for a powerbomb. Konosuke, though, widening his base and a back body drop with the strength of his head and neck to Lee Johnson. Now adjusting that arm, that elbow pad, squaring up that big right. Swinging a miss. Samazaguri missed though by Lee. Now Konosuke catching Lee Johnson, possibly looking for the suplex. Meanwhile, Victory Row, 1, 2, almost got the champion there. And the catch got with the boot. Now on the run again, and Lee Johnson in pursuit again, up and around. Boom! Thunderbomb! Rolls through, and Konosuke back up to his feet. Every time you think Lee has an answer, Konosuke has a counter! Power drive, knee, bang, cover to return. That is it. Just like that. A hell of a shot taken by Lee Johnson, but Konosuke Takeshita with one last emphatic knockout shot. Holding on now, 2 successive defenses of the AEW International Championship. But again, Lee Johnson showing a lot of credit towards being championship caliber for any talent here in Ring of Honor. A hell of an effort against Konosuke. Nothing to be ashamed there when you give a championship-worthy effort even in defeat. Just take it as a learning experience and see if Jay Lethal can groom you to success next time. Well done by both. Congratulations to Konosuke Takeshita, still AEW International Champion. And of course, we will see Konosuke representing Team Mark Briscoe against Team MJF in a 12-man steel cage match at Forbidden Door. As of course, the Forbidden Door opens once more, this time welcoming CMLL, New Japan, and Stardom. As of course, we talk about the ascension for Bruv in the ONR Foundation tournament. We talk about so much more that's happening at AEW where they might be on the verge of bringing forward in Canada of redemption. Because for the first time ever in Montreal, Quebec, AEW brings to you a July special, Redemption, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Sunday, July 26th. Stay tuned for more on that, folks. First time ever, AEW brings us a Redemption. Should be a very interesting show as we go backstage with Anthony Bowens and Hook of the Ops, since Samoa Joe is now off in Hollywood. I guess Hook right now is in charge of the Ops. I don't think there's like an official leader. But Meanwhile, we got a moment to breathe. Let's go ahead and engage with the man behind the green screen. Shall we? Teleporting in from the morphing grid with all the buttons here. It's good to see JJ. JJ, good to see you. Happy rest of the you. Been a hell of a night of honor so far. How are you and how are you feeling and what's on your mind for the moment?
I'm doing good. Sounds like it's been an awesome evening of action here. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Glad I'm here to be able to assist.
I greatly appreciate you as always. Arigato and arigato to all. Oh, wow. 167 viewers. We now get ready immediately back into the action. But again, show some love. Subscribe today. Super Chat, PayPal. Be part of Castellini Studio. Subscribe. Thank you, JJ. I'll catch you later. As we get ready for this.
Shout out to Viva Van for liking and retweeting our post for her match.
Well, again, it's not about us. It's about wrestling, damn it. I'm looking very forward to this match. We welcome in the Sun God, Syuri, supporting her friend into this unique exhibition, as it's now time for the Ring of Honor debut of Hyan's opponent here tonight. Takumi Iroha, one of the biggest trailblazers across Japan, of course. A long list of accolades for this young individual who's been involved in this business for 13 years, trained by Fuka, who, of course, was instrumental not only in the Joshi pro circuit and women's wrestling, but Stardom itself. Takumi Iroha, by the way, is the current AAAW champion, is a former GHC women's champion. In fact, took Utami Hayashita to a 60-minute time limit when it was title for title. Former West Coast Pro women's champion as well, and Regina D-Wave champion 2 times over. Taking on the Renaissance girl, Hyan. It's one of those things I look at the 2 women on paper versus the tail of the tape that I look at the size, I look at the drive, I look at the level of experience. Of course, Hyan with over 10 years of experience. This match could go either way, but like I said, it is a first time one encounter. But these 2 are not strangers to each other, actually. In fact, they once tagged together. A code of honor adhered to. The last time that Hyan and Iroha shared the ring was actually back in November 2024 in the Marvelous promotion. Where, of course, you about to say, you not want to play around tonight, Hyan. Get serious. A condom will tie up here with these 2 individuals. And of course, think about the Forbidden Door, the other athletes that, of course, we could see from Stardom represented there, or possibly maybe teased down the line to play with AEW or compete with AEW, including individuals out of the Marvelous promotion that has also, of course, been heavily involved with the Oz Academy, as well as Marigold and Stardom. Went for that buzzsaw, nearly took Hyan's head off. Whew. Good starting so far, but for this contest, by the way, it looks like is Brandon Martinez. And a shout out to Syuri, of course, who was going to be involved in this year's Women's Own Competition Tournament, but due to injury, has not been medically cleared. And, of course, we do look forward to seeing the Sun God blaze the AEW stage at some point. Nice elbow strike there into the snapmare. And face buster over the knee, hooking her up. Snap German. Aggressiveness so far being shown here by Hyan here. Strong offense, size up the drop kick. Lyro gets a 1 count. Doesn't get anything there. Brandon Martinez not even getting a 1. Went for the rebound. Oh, man. Sheesh. Insane fast feet of Takumi Iroha. Of course, disciplined in kendo. And then one of those shots can knock Hyan's lights out. Oh, that debilitating spinning Sova might have literally knocked the wind out of her. And now Hyan has to try and regroup here. The way that Hyan, of course, started out so fast and was kind of teasing her opponent. They're going, I was kind of paying for it. You got to get out of the striking zone when it comes to Iroha. And of course, Hyan right now, who had ambitions to not only go after the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, of course, one of the latest victims of Athena, has also set her sights on maybe going after the TBS Championship down the line at some point. The snapmare. I remember the first time I saw Hyan involved with somebody from the Joshi Sugar was Julia over the Every Strong Women's Championship back at Lone Star Shooter. Oh, man. could decide to head Lone Star Shootout a few years ago. And of course, right now, Takumi Iroha's career, as I said, not only has been across Marvelous, it has extended all over Japan, in and out of Stardom, in and out, of course, of Strong Style Pro Wrestling. She's been involved in Deadlock Pro, Tokyo Joshi Pro, Pro Wrestling E, Pro Wrestling Noah. Nice round kick there. And again, Hyan right now definitely needs to try and get back up on her feet here. They're looking to step through, and Hyan right now might be going for a ride on the sharpshooter if she's not careful. Or Scorpion twisting Hyan over and sitting down on it. That's a low sitting Scorpion right there. All the body weight on Hyan's lower back as she crawls her way to the ropes to try and force a break. And that might play to Hyan's advantage, as it does here, as Hyan, of course, one of the more taller athletes here in AEW. And Ricky Choshu, of course, was known to use that move. Of course, Master Chona was always known to use more so a crossface. And Hyan hoisted up, able to counter. See which way this pendulum swings right now in this exchange. Hyan getting the better. And the suplex connecting there. And Hyan slow to follow up, though. Needs to capitalize here. See if Hyan can regain control, as you still see her grabbing the smile for her back. Both of them back up to their feet. Taking down the clothesline, taking down with the elbow, and Hyan looking him out a comeback. Irish whip reversal. All right, in the corner, thrown up though. Take her down with a knee. Sheesh. And Hyan right now, again, like I said, not that unfamiliar with Takumi, but showing strong growth here over the last 2 years. Back press, look at the far leg, gets a 2 count. And of course, we've seen the growth of Hyan and Maya World since they became a tag team, part of AEW. And as I said earlier, we will see Maya World challenge Athena for the right to be part of the finals of this year's women's Owen Harvard tournament this Saturday on Collision. And we will be covering that here, folks, at the Super Level Studios. And Takumi Iroha hoisted up by Hyan. But Hyan, quick kicks, through the leg, followed up though, PK, and again on the move, and another running kick. Iroha, literally a fury of offense in the span of 10 seconds with that lethal combination. She's a maniac. And right now, Hyan trying to regain her composure, big elbow. Oof. Takumi right now. The crowd woke up into that. Both of these women meeting in kind with the forearms. And Roja trying to fire herself up here and fires forward with her own elbow. Open palm strike here by Hyan. And the Irish whip. Roja sent off of the ropes. Oh, man. Spin wheel kick, though. Catching Hyan. Now goes for the cover. Look at the far leg. Is there enough? Kick out at 2 by Hyan. And Takumi, once again, back in control here of her opponent. Of course, last time we saw Takumi in action was, of course, recently involved in the Marvelous promotion, taking on the likes of Nightshade and Nyla Rose, alongside her partner, Senega Akatsuki. And Iroha right now, in looking for a swanton bomb, but Hyan rolls inside. And Hyan right now, great opportunity here to capitalize on the move, up and over. Whoop, lands on the apron. Oh, and another vicious high kick catching Hyan. Oh, boy. Holding on to the top rope with one hand. Dangerous territory, but both of them on the apron. And Takumi, Iroha looking for something very dangerous here. Possibly a suplex on the apron. Hyan holding on for dear life. Waistlock applied. Again, Takumi Iroha. Get to the midsection. Front face lock. Hooking up Hyan, but oh! And Hyan with a gore buster dropping Takumi face first on the apron. Getting the better of that exchange. Don't admire your work. Focus, kid. Stay on the attack. And Hyan right now, moving forward with the spear. Cover leg hook 2. Almost got her. Whoa, man. Almost getting the biggest win of her career and their biggest win in Ring of Honor. Woof. Yeah, Takumi Iroha showing great resilience here. Of course, the last time that Takumi Iroha shared the ring, as I said, it was during a short time in the Marvelous promotion in Japan back in November 2024. In a tag team match, Takumi Iroha got the better of Hyan and her partner. And of course, right now, Takumi Iroha, international. Oh, man, caught with that knee. That might have literally knocked her out. Iroha right now might literally be dead weight. And Hyan, of course, 11 years of experience, disciplined out of the Reality of Wrestling Academy in the Texas area by Booker T, unable to get the double underhook on Takumi right now to hoist her up, possibly for that beauty sleep or the Grand Slam. Just stomping away at her opponent. I feel like frustration's boiling out here of Hyan at this point. Finally trying to hoist up Iroha. Open hands connecting. And almost spaghetti legs that Takumi looks like. Oh, man, sudden high kick, though. And again, going back to those lethal kicks. And again, just stomping away and Hyan covering up for dear life, and I don't blame her here. Of course, Takumi Iroha has got to be aware of the referee. Referee starting at 5 count, risking disqualification. It's almost like another gear just woke up there. And now Takumi fighting forward. Hyan, though, caught off. Rolling kick again. Rocks Hyan. Another thrust kick. Takumi Iroha once again back in control, and Hyan literally on her own feet across the top turnbuckle. Uh-oh. And the running Razor's Edge in the cover, 2, and that is it. The running 3, the Thunder Fire Powerbomb. And Takumi Iroha wins her Ring of Honor debut. Woof. I wouldn't mind seeing her give Athena a run for her money. And there you see Saraya, of course, celebrating with her friend in the ring. And, of course, her tag team partner in Spark Rush. These two women, of course, have taken the Joshi Pro circuit by storm in their illustrious careers. Of course, Saraya won Tokyo Pro Sports MVP Awards last year to a degree. I love the collaboration of Stardom and these Japanese promotions with Ring of Honor AEW. Yeah, Code of Honor adhered to. Great respect being shown here with, of course, Takumi Iroha and Hyan. I love seeing it. Heck of a hard-hitting affair. Definition hard-hitting with all those kicks to the side of Hyan's head. Hyan might have forgot for a second she was in Cincinnati. But good stuff, though, and great win, by the way. And welcome to Ring of Honor, by the way. Takumi Iroha. And of course, talking about matches that swing more like a pendulum, last Tuesday we saw a wild Ring of Honor 6-man World Tag Team Championship affair with extras. Break down, of course, the Don Callis family of Spanish Announce Project, Outrunners, Don and Castle, and the Lethal Swirl. Bodies were flying everywhere, of course, on a special Ring of Honor Tuesday edition, as Blake Christian did get the win for his team. As Roppongi Vice and Lethal Twist look to once again get a win at the expense of the Ring of Honor World 6-man Tag Team Champions and Mistico and Speedball. My belly. Time for an 8-man tag team match. Of course, Blake Christian coming off that great effort against Bandito for the Ring of Honor World Championship and Supercar of Honor. Our referee for this con is Aubrey Edwards. We will also see the Lethal Twist, the trio, of course, Blake Christian, Jay Lethal, and Lee Johnson in action this Saturday against the Elite, Jungle Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks in trios action. I have to say, though, what Jay Lethal has done for Blake Christian and Lee Johnson has definitely led to quite an amount of opportunities here. Speaking of opportunities, Roppongi Vice, representing the Don Callis family, Japanese legends. Well, they are former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions and former Best of Super Juniors Tag League recipients. I will give Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero that credit to their wrestling resume. Still, you're part of the Don Callis family. Your stock is very low with me. And again, Rocky Romero, who literally has built these bridges, not only with CMLL and Ring of Honor, but all these companies, of course, being part of the higher tier of New Japan Pro Wrestling, that apparently is under new leadership, but that's a whole different business conversation that I don't need to worry about. As my screen just went back into 4:9 wide ratio, and I have a VHS filter, it must mean that the Outrunners are here. The youngest man of the century, Turbo Floyd, Truth Man of the Outrunners, of course, on an 8-0 record in six-man tag team action. And of course, the latest Ring of Honor six-man World Tag Team Champions alongside Dalton Castle after winning those titles back at Supercard of Honor. Finally, the Outrunners are champions. And 2/3, by the way, of the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. And they may not have a peacock with them, but they got one hell of a fighter with them here tonight. And Speedball My Billy trying to rebound from the betrayal of Jet Speed. That's no more, of course, the Jet Kevin Knight, and also that loss to Jake Doyle on Collision. And of course, Speedball My Billy, also no stranger to Ring of Honor, despite the fact you may not have seen him in Honor recently. He was involved in Ring of Honor several years ago. As we welcome in CMLL's Mistico. And everyone sings his theme. Again, I'm not going to do that, though. Non-copyright. I also can't speak Espanol. This might be my favorite song right now in the wrestling business. Current CMLL Worldwide Middle Heavyweight and, of course, Trios Champion. Not to mention former AEW Trios Champion and current IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion alongside El Desperado. Not to mention coming off a great singles exhibition against his tag team partner at Dominion in a losing effort. The fact I missed this in Cincinnati, damn it! It's all right. And Aubrey Edwards, I saw that move. Aubrey Edwards, of course, who has literally become accustomed to the Lucha Libre culture and loves refereeing matches down in CMLL as well as speaking Espanol. Goes to show how important being bilingual is. Bravo! Love that theme. All right. Well, anyway, time to get serious. Yeah, the Outrunners can dig that tune. Selena right now, if she could sing that live, she probably would, co-starring with the actual author of that song. Rest in peace. And see, we get a code of honor adhered to. Again, it's Mistico, Speedball My Billy, Turbo Floyd, Truth Magnum, the Outrunners taking on Roppongi Vice, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero of the Don Callis family, and 2/3 of the Lethal Twist. The other 2/3 of the Lethal Twist, we just saw Lee Johnson get his head knocked off. Blake Christian and former Ring of Honor World Champion and Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Ring of Honor Television Champion, the franchise of Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal. I'm curious to see who starts this up. And of course, Rocky Romero has had his fair share of fallout with CMLL and with Mistico particularly. And it looks like we're going to get a little bit of crowd one-upsmanship here. And the boo's been out for Rocky, and the cheers been out for Mistico. Aubrey, you don't even need to do the red shoes Umino levering thing. It's literally 100-0. Rocky Romero had enough of it. What is Rocky doing? Is Rocky leaving, taking a powder? Well, bell rings, we're underway, so Aubrey's going to start her 10 count, not going to take Rocky's nonsense. Stepping up right to Rocky Romero. Take charge, Aubrey. More referees need to do that. And Mistico and Rocky Romero will be a one-on-one match I would love to see take place at New Japan Ring. And again, like I said, Rocky Romero's been instrumental in Ring of Honor's global, expansive relationships over the years since Global Wars were a thing, when Ring of Honor used to only first work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Hell, people like Asuchika Okada versus Tanahashi at one point were on excursions here and exhibitions in Ring of Honor. And of course, the Bullet Club during the Kenny Omega era, particularly. And of course, the Fantastica Mania Tour that, of course, takes place in New Japan Pro Wrestling in conjunction with CMLL. Rocky Romero is a huge instrumental element in the reason why that is an annual showcase. Now going for the arm wringer, of course, the king of squeaky style, former Black Tiger. Rocky Romero also will be involved in the current Tiger Mask, of course, retirement match coming up. As, of course, Tiger Mask will take on Rocky Romero as he dons the Black Tiger Mask one more time, and also will take on Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington before he officially retires. And the drop down now, and Mistico with the side step up the second rope, springing off with a cross body. Swing and miss off the backhand, off the ropes, up and around, take over to Harris to Rocky Romero, sends Rocky to the outside. And Mistico got the crown in fuego. Meanwhile, Jay Lethal with that derailer up the tope. Oh, and that's all breaking down. With a cheap shot, 4-on-1 assault right now on Mistico by the Lethal Twist and Roppongi Vice. Now, Aubrey Edwards, I don't envy her position here, trying to keep the peace with all 8 of these men, especially with these 4 clowns. Irish whip. Mistico sent hard into the ropes, and it looks like they might be looking for a 4-on-1 as Rocky Romero, one half of the former Mega coaches, might be looking to call the play, sending Trent, Jay, and Blake, and himself into the clothesline. That did not go forever, as Mistico was able to sidestep. And you see Speedball taking who was that? Taking Trent Beretta up to the outside. And no love lost there, of course, with Roppongi Vice against Jet Speed in a previous life. And now Mistico. Here comes Truth Magnum and Terrible Floyd as everyone goes up against Rocky Romero with the clotheslines forever. As we see all 8 men now squaring off in all 4 corners here inside the ring. I just want to put this out, by the way. Trent Beretta, excuse me. One half of the Outrunners is still wearing his Ring of Honor with 6-man tag team championship. The Outrunners and Mistico and Speedball getting the better of their opponents here. I'm about to say, are we counting in Mexican, in Japan, or in English? And so far right now, Mistico and company in control here. And Rocky, by the way, is still the legal man and has been the only legal man for his team so far in this match. And tag made. And now we see Turbo Floyd, brother. And of course, we've seen the Outrunners become mainstay baby faces and favorites here in both Ring of Honor and AEW. Average whip, off the ropes, starts to the midsection, rising knee, Outrunners, double team, hoisted up. That drop suplex there. And double bicep thrust. And the cover now by Truth. Oh, and Trent drops the elbow on Rocky. And Trent Beretta sidestep now, and Truth trying to get the better of Roppongi Vice. Sidestep, Trent Beretta sent to the outside. Trent swimming the legs, pulling Truth to the outside, went for a cheap shot, got caught with a right. Jay Lethal looking for the slingshot plunge. Truth so far outlasting everyone. Oh, but Black with a spear on the apron. And of course, Rocky Romero distracting Aubrey Edwards as Rocky Romero, king of sneaky style, getting the match back in his favor. Just literally walking over to his corner. Blake Christian now legal. Former GCW heavyweight champion. And cutting the ring in half now. Great game plan made by Rocky Romero here. And Truth sent hard in the turnbuckles. Up and over. Oh! Of course, Ring of Honor with 6-man tag team champions already with 2 successful defenses underneath their run. Bent over like an accordion off that flying lariat. Again, their attention now. And of course, the Lethal Twist has gotten the attention of Don Castle and the Outrunners at that cheapest shot, especially this past Tuesday on Honor Club. Now, Jay Lethal put in the boots, of course. 2 Truth Madam in the corner, stomping away at 1/3 the Ring of Honor World 6-man tag team champions. And again, look at everyone trying to get their cheap shots in as Aubrey Edwards' back is turned around, thanks to Jay Lethal trying to instigate Turbo Floyd. It's that trash talk, though, that gets underneath a wrestler's skin. That's more of a detriment to a tag team partner than encouragement. And now possibly going to step through. Lethal with the figure 4 leg lock applied, center of the ring. Brought down, of course, by Ric Flair and Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Aubrey Edwards right now checking on Truth Magnum, whether he wants to capitulate or tap out. Tag made to Blake Christian. Slingshot Swanton to the inside. Look at him mocking Speedball, Mike Bailey, and the double bird. Again, Speedball can't let his emotions get the better of him here. He's not legal. Speedball, Mike Bailey is also one of those people in the business, though, much like Ricky at Steamboat, that I always consider to maintain his composure. And as of late, we've kind of seen Speedball unraveling, where it feels like he just feels like he needs to get back into everybody that gets underneath him. Springing inside, able to escape, and Truth, though, catching Blake Christian. Big power slam. That was a stalling body slam there by Truth Magnum as Turbo Floyd runs the ropes and is looking to charge forward here in this match. Can Truth Magnum make the tag, though? You see both Blake and Truth center of the ring crawling past each other, not preventing each other from making the tag. And Truth with a hand out. Tag made! And Turbo legal with Jay Lethal. Delivering the shots over the head. Shout out, by the way, to Rockstar Games, finally putting out the box art for Grand Theft Auto 6, by the way. Pre-orders, of course, will be available later this summer. Get to the midsection. And once again, Turbo Floyd hooking up Jay Lethal. Possibly for a stalling vertical. Maybe a suplex. Maybe a DDT. Hoisted up. Lance Lethal. Turbo Floyd fired up here. Look at the wide eyes. Are we going to get it? Oh, wait a minute. And Truth Magnum also holding up as well. And oh, Blake Christian stopping the double bicep show off elbow drop. Freaking spoiling the party. Oof. Turbo Floyd and Jay Lethal just literally colliding at each other. And Turbo. Look at this. Turbo Floyd right now hulking up. I know what I said, folks. Walk on! Both men climb out of the ring. Damn. Both men figuring the same thing and both men with the same results, but to themselves versus each other. And right now, Speedball Mike Bailey stands ready in his corner. Meanwhile, Tammy to Triparetta, Tammy to Speedball, Triparetta and Speedball Mike Bailey renewing hostilities. Triparetta swings a miss, wins for the kick, major escape. Oh! Cuts through, barefoot, axe kick, rising knee, round kick by Speedball Mike Bailey. Those lethal feet of Speedball. Went for the right shooting star, and Trent able to roll out of the way. Caparetta. Having half suplex applied. Good grief. I think Trent was surprised there that he was able to outspeed Speedball Mike Bailey. For those that don't know, Speedball Mike Bailey has a 4th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. And Beretta looking to hoist up Speedball. Speedball looking to hoist up Beretta. Pendulum swinging around here. Whoa! Roll through, sits in the combo, legs hooked! And we'll catch him. Roll through. Ooh, went for the round kick. Standing moonsault. Try to escape again. Sweep the legs. Speedball once again on the move. And the running shooting star connects. Hook on the far leg. 2. Everybody breaks it up. And Blake Christian wiping out Mistico and Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum as again Roppongi Vice and the Leap of Trish trying to take advantage here. Oh, God. That single leg shotgun drop kick by Blake Christian taking Speedball back to Canada. Now slingshot across the top rope. Double stomp. Follow through with a running sliding knee strike. Combination offense covered by Trent Beretta. Mistico with the save with a running drop kick to the side of Trent's head. Don't think Speedball's going to kick out of that unless Mistico got involved there. And Mistico off the second rope. Springing up with a back double elbow strike. Now Mistico and Rock Romero up and around. Take him to Harris. Takes Rock to the outside. It's all breaking down once again. And Mistico on the move with the Tope Suicida. Wiping out Rock against the barricade. Now Lethal Twist trying to take advantage. Irish reversal. Blake off the ropes. And Blake breaks through the banner. Catches Speedball's leg. Oh, man, turn to a cutter. Now Jay Lethal and Blake Christian might be looking to mock the Outrunners here. As, of course, again, they're trying to send a message to the Viva 6-man tag team champions. And, of course, Lethal and Jackson, no freaking stoop they won't stoop down to at the expense of their opponents. This has the weakest masculinity I've ever seen. Oh, wait a minute. Turbo Floyd dragging Jay Lethal out and dragging Blake Christian out as Truth Magnum. And clearly the Outrunners were not amused by that fake show-off pose. And now the Lethal Twist and the Outrunners are literally fighting backstage. And Trent Beretta squaring off Speedball. Speedball, though, able to roll out of the way. Belly out of the way, hoisting up Trent, lands on the apron. Oh man, another stiff kick with those callous feet. Now Speedball off the corner, triangle mount, stops! And this has turned to a 2-on-2 affair at this point. How the hell does Speedball continue to land on his feet out of that position? I'll never know. Now sending Brady back inside the ring. Wrecker Romero also sent back inside by Mistico. Mistico and Speedball might be the only two men left on the opposite side, spraying him with a crossbody, double crossbody. And Mistico ducks to the knee from Rocky, sending to Trent with the shoulder block. Sidestep, up and around and around. Oh, Mistico takedown! And Rocky taps out, not legal. Tire adventure to Trapper who is legal. Cover, leg caught. That's it. As Mistico and Speedball get the win. A great finishing stretch and a great comeback here. Form for Speedball might better tonight alongside an actual friend in Mistico. And Mistico once again embarrasses Wrecker Romero. These two men could be in the conversation, possibly for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships if they decide to pursue them. And of course, still we'll see more Mistico to come this Saturday on Collision, and he goes one-on-one with the dynamic, inhuman Dante Martin of Skyflight. And Mistico, of course, continues to impress the world over and promotions over, whether it's New Japan, MLW, etc. Speaking of taking on the world, it's Death Riders versus the world. It's, of course, John Monty will take on Bandito on the shot he called, and we'll see who draws the last bullet needed as John Monty defends the AEW Continental Championship against Bandito, the most wanted. But coming up next, what's been another wonderful night of professional wrestling exhibition, it's time for our main event as Athena defends the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship against Syuri of Stardom. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the match I've been waiting for. And of course, it's been a whirlwind of emotions for Athena, why she has conquered and dominated and dictated the Ring of Honor world, all other worlds. She has failed to be the conversation for outside loser, losing last year's own Edition tournament, losing to Thomas Toy Storm after Forbidden Door via submission, and getting her only pinfall loss this year at the expense of this MMA to wrestler athlete that is the IWGP Women's Champion, Syuri. Of course, representing her faction, God's Eye. Syuri, for those that don't know, came in with a background from karate and Ultimate Wrestling Fight Championship matches before arriving in Stardom alongside her tag team partner, Julia. Yeah, remember that name, by the way. Of course, Women That Play in the World, part of Donna Del Mundo, and of course, went on her own way to form her own faction called God's Eye. Eventually, of course, went on to win the World of Stardom Championship, and now is the current IWGP Women's Champion after beating, remember what I said earlier about Saray, the Sun God, last year in Ryogoku Sumo Hall at King of Pro Wrestling, as Athena has been boiling over and hell-bent, as you see her record, 77 wins, 0 losses, 0 losses, 1 draw as the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. But outside Ring of Honor, she has been beaten. And it was back in February, and it was that very woman that did it. But nobody has been able to upset the fallen goddess in her home of honor. 3.5 years of absolute dominance as the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion now for 1,287 days, breaking every Ring of Honor record, man or woman, in the past. And has literally defended that title now 37 times, and in combination title defenses and proving grounds over 70 plus times, with only one of them going to a 10-minute draw. And again, you see what's on the line here, right, for this contest, Aubrey Edwards, the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. And of course, this title in a previous lifetime was held by the Stardom icon, Mayu Iwatani, at the expense of the gatekeeper, Kelly Klein, when it was the Women of Honor Championship. Code of Honor adhered to by both champion and challenger. Bell reigns are underway. And of course, Athena right now trying to conquer 2 worlds while trying to look for revenge from another world, as of course she is still involved right now in this year's Women's Own Up Edition tournament. that the champion Athena knows the danger that Syuri imposes with that martial arts and technician background here. And both these women right now jogging for position on the mat. Testing out the legs, testing out the neck. Athena scrambling to the ropes. Sense of urgency there by the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Last time these two faced each other, their only ever other one-on-one encounter, it took 17 minutes for Syuri to beat Athena. Very rarely do you put Athena loses to blank in the same sentence. Timeless Toni Storm, Syuri, Mercedes Monet, and those are the only losses for Athena in the last 2 years. Waist lock applied now by Syuri. Athena working over the left wrist, though. Trying to roll out, roll through. Athena trying to roll out and roll through. Both these women right now know each other's playbook very well. Nice kip up there by Fallon Goss, and a stalemate here in this early filling out process. The fact of the matter that Athena is 17 days away from reaching 1,300 days as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion is absolutely insane. And Syuri, of course, as I said, current IWGP Women's Champion, two-time IWGP Women's Champion, the only two-time IWGP Women's Champion, has held that title for 249 days, and of course has gone through 3 successful defenses, including against Megan Bayne. Oh! And Athena, shotgun drop kick, and Athena's head collides hard in the top turnbuckle. And now Syuri on the move with those knees. And of course, Syuri made history this year in the Tokyo Dome, defending the IWGP Women's Championship successfully and winning the Strong Women's Championship against the Phoenix Queen, Saya Kamatani. And Athena right now, and oh man! It's that running knee strike draped over that bottom rope by Syuri. And of course, we saw Athena has made her own legacy in history, including surviving the first ever Survival of the Fittest for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship after outlasting not only Maya World, but her greatest pupil, of course, in Billy Starks, as well as, of course, Zeta Steele. Oh, God! Critical mistake there by Syuri, who got caught there with a rolling power slam on the apron, snap power slam by Athena, who was draped across the second rope. A vicious move there by Athena. Of course, prior to last year, coming back to face Syuri for the IWGP Women's Championship, Syuri was recovering from a lingering back injury. Of course, this is our main event bout here at Global War Cincinnati. Ring of Honor Women's World Championship hanging the balance. And Athena, where she's most comfortable and violent, taking advantage of the challenger on the outside, throwing her into the barricade and the LED boards at the timekeeper area. And of course, Aubrey Edwards, the only referee not intimidated by Athena. I couldn't imagine what this would do for Athena's psyche if she lost the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship finally to someone outside Ring of Honor and someone that's already beaten her. And while she's in the Owen as well, it'd be as big as a domino effect Mercedes Moné losing on 13 of her belts. I almost can wonder, can you vision the Women of Honor division with Athena not holding that title anymore? Big forearm strike, and Athena takes Syuri down. And right now, Athena taking advantage of the opportunity she's created for herself, keeping Syuri underneath her. Looking to follow through, running senton drop. Now the cover, hooking the far leg to retain. It's a 2 count. Not only looking for the retirement, but looking for her own redemption here. Again, as I said, against Syuri. And Syuri, of course, looking to continue forward as IWGP Women's Champion with as much momentum as possible ahead of this year's 5-star Grand Prix. And Athena right now with those knee strikes, now trapping the left leg. Just wearing down Syuri, it looks like here. Going for the submission here. Modified cravat, side headlock. And Syuri fine bat, though, attacking the exposed core of Athena. Looking to force the break. Now go for the roll-up. Gets 2 through, gets 2 there. Up and around, maybe looking for that Mistico. Athena able to escape, though. Oh, and caught a code breaker. Ran right into that one. And of course, as I said, no matter what the result here, Athena will take on Maya World this Saturday, the only woman to go 10 minutes to a draw with her in the Proving Ground, as you heard on that record of Athena's nearly unblemished dominance in Ring of Honor. And of course, also coming this Saturday, Mina Shirakawa will go one-on-one with Chris Statlander for Survivor of the Fittest qualifying match. We will crown a brand new TBS champion in the first ever Survivor of the Fittest on Diamante July 1st. And the Hurt Syndicate will pick up business as well, as the Hurt Syndicate will also be in action. Athena catching Syuri on the run, though, and Zack Sabre Jr., who also has been, oh man, heavily disciplined by Syuri's mentality, of course. We'll be going one-on-one with Adam Priest this Saturday, and Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa will also go face-to-face. That's so much more coming on Collision. Nasty power slam, though, on the walkway, though, by Athena to Syuri again. Brunt impact on that back. Athena keeps focusing on the back of Syuri. A vicious spinal tap kick again. Axe kick now to the challenger. And back to the spine again goes Athena. And again, Athena has beaten people from Stardom. I mean, before Mina Shirakawa, of course, became All Elite. Had her fair shot, of course, with Mina Shirakawa, former running mate, tag partner, alongside Syuri at times in a multiple faction exhibitions. And again, Athena grabbing the head and hair of Syuri. Trying to take advantage here and again, Aubrey Edwards reminding Athena of the rules. Now running in with the baseball slide drop kick. And again, Athena showing no respect to anybody. Two count there. Aubrey Edwards may not be intimidated, but clearly Athena shows no respect for anybody. You can see right now just the grimace on Athena's face, grinding her teeth for the fact that, again, this was the person that beat her. Athena, though, reminding herself, and maybe Syuri, though, that this is her show. Oh, traps the arm. Now hooks Athena up into a DDT. Athena crown there. Now Syuri on the move. Cazadora charges and catching her with the Bulldog. Plants the skull of Athena. Now Athena might be on her feet. Got a little bit too full of herself. Too much moxie that might pay for it. And these round kicks the back and the front. Now the cover by Syuri to win the title. Kick out at 2.5 by Athena. And Athena now favoring, of course, her back now. And a side step. Whoop. Prevents collision with the turnbuckles. Both of these women favoring their back. Oh. Inside Russian leg sweep there. A side strike to the head. The vicious elbow might have clocked Syuri out in the cover. 2 kick outs. A 1-2 punch combo there by Athena. Apoplectic that Syuri kicked out of that. The shot to the side of the head and that vicious elbow. Again, the falls of challengers that have taken on Athena in Ring of Honor and lost. Taylor Rising, Canada, Persephone of Mexico, Alex Windsor of the UK, Thekla of Stardom before she became All Elite. Michelle Shaw, Queen of Manada, Red Velvet, Abaddon, Billy Starks, not once but twice, Thunder Rosa, Harley Cameron, all have fallen to Athena. Oh, wow! And the Hammerlock Avalanche Superplex takeover. Athena tap out. Center of the ring. We might be on the verge of a new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion here. Critical situation for Athena. Syuri tried to trap both arms here. In the stretch, both arms locked. Athena desperately trying to crawl and kick away to the ropes. And it's in. Double armbar. And both arms now trapped, and Athena finds her way to the ropes. In the nick of time, as her arm might literally have been ripped out of her shoulder there. Seconds away from a new Ring of Honor World Champion. I would love to see Syuri take this title from Athena. Sorry, not sorry. Almost a modified Venus de Milo. Hey, Diana Perazzo, you looking for challengers? Syuri, just saying. Swing and miss. Kip up. Ooh, caught with a fresh kick. Athena falling right back into play here. Again, Syuri right now seated on the bottom rope, following that thrust kick as Athena tries to get strength back in her left arm, holding it closely inside of her body. Irish whip, trying to keep Syuri close to her, but away from her arms. Whoa, and Syuri wrapping herself around Athena. Standing octopus hold applied. Trying to hyperextend that right arm. And again, the headlock, and Athena, though, turns around a guard buster. Now tries to stay in the cover with a single knee, and hesitation on the position as Syuri able to kick out. Presenting the arm, though, possibly with the Jujikatami. Cross arm breaker, maybe applied, trying to prevent the hyperextension. Athena in a world of desperation. And the fingers locked for now, but Syuri knows how to break the hold and does so. Trying to turn Athena over. Athena trying to turn Syuri over the hold. Now caught in the triangle, standing on her own 2 feet, risking her arm, though. Shoulders down for Syuri. And the deadlift to try and break the grip with one arm. Are you kidding me? Trying to throw Syuri out of the ring, and Syuri still maintaining her hold. And the challenger still on the apron with the arm locked, and Athena somehow on her feet on the outside, though. Again, you can't win the title out there, but she's still risking permanent damage. As Darby tries to force the breaker as both women are inside the ropes. And again, Syuri and Athena still made it. Oh, man, plant on the floor. Jeez. And now Syuri right back in the hole with a triangle on the outside. Triangle locked in again, but Athena still back up to her feet. One arm deadlift, got the challenger hoisted up. How is she doing this? And Syuri, let's go of the hole before another problem come into play. Now hooking Athena, front face lock off the barricade. And a tornado DDT! Whew. Athena dropped on her head once again on the outside and desperately clinging on to her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship against her most dangerous outside adversary to date with a wicked smile on her face. And this is, again, the element and the environment of championship caliber that Athena has created for herself and this title here in Ring of Honor against anyone who dares to try and take it from her. I'll be ever starting, of course, the standing count on the outside. And, of course, in Ring of Honor, for those that don't know, Ring of Honor has a 20 count on the outside under Ring of Honor Championship rules. Towels cannot change hands, though, on the outside via a count out. And, of course, if Athena's on the outside there, she could just take the draw. She could just take the count out. And Matt Helms, it's good to see you as well. And, again, good to see everybody in the chat, whether you've been speaking along or just listening to us here covering Ring of Honor Global Wars. Thank you so much, folks, at SR Studios 24. And, again, be part of the conversation. Use ROH Global Wars. Support Ring of Honor. Support wrestling. And, again, please let's grab comments, tell friends. Both women get back inside the count of 19, rolling in and meeting eye to eye. You could feel the adrenaline. You could feel the aggression. You could feel the absolute drive and determination of both these women to win here tonight for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. For Athena, it's redemption. For Syuri, it's further ascension. Athena with those heavy forearms, though, and again, how much does she have left in those forearms? All the damage done by Syuri in those submission holds, including that modified Venus de Milo. And both these women squaring off here. It's a shootout in the middle of the ring with these elbows. Someone's got to give, and both these women aren't giving an inch. And this is the way that Syuri and Athena live, through combat, through violence. Oh, look at that, it's Athena. Oh! Backdrop suplex to Syuri, almost into a zombie mode, back up to her feet. Swing and miss, swing and miss. Oh, and catch Athena with that elbow, turns her sideways. A German suplex follow-up. That high-impact, high-attack offense that Syuri is known so well for. Looking for the buzzsaw. Athena ducks underneath, though. Now looking to cook Syuri. Oh, look at that. Nice suplex there. Dropped in the back of her head and neck. And Athena with a kip up, though. And again, still favoring her arms. Turning around to Syuri. And Syuri catching the champion. Up on the shoulders. Swing out slam. Counter top. Kick out. One of Syuri's signature moves, the same signature move to a degree that she beat Saray with to win back the IWGP Women's Championship. 1,300 days potentially at risk here, up on the shoulders, possibly looking for her finisher in the electric chair position. Athena finding out here, though, knows that sense of danger, able to escape. Then look for the single knee cold breaker, and Syuri catching her, though, prevents it. Wait a minute, the cold, bang, and a rising knee connects. Athena tried to duck and instead literally went face first to Syuri's knee. And there's Syuri with the buzzsaw kick. Athena might be out though. And trying to find her footing with the assist of the ropes. Athena right now trying to look for some sense of reprieve, some sense of preserve to hold on to a Ring of Women's World Championship. Syuri grabbing the feet. Athena able to land on her feet. Went for the strike. Blocked again. Oh, and coming another vicious forearm by Syuri. Every time Athena goes for the punch, Syuri beats her to it. Irish whip, pump handle, ducks underneath. Uh-oh. We've seen this setup before. Hooking up Syuri up and over. Up the shoulder. Oh! Into the tombstone pile driver. Thought she was going to try and take her over for that Koji clutch. And now to the challenger, drag over to the corner as Athena might be looking for her other ace in the hole. If the arms can work. Oh, thanks! Cover! Two single leg hook and that is it. Athena redeems herself and wins with one arm. Wow. 1,300 days. 1,300 days. 37 official successful defenses of the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Canada, Mexico, Japan, London, America, newcomer, trailblazer, veteran, rising star, Joshi. It doesn't matter when you're in Ring of Honor against the fallen goddess Athena, where she continues to rule her domain. Athena still Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. And with the damage done to that arm, though, will Maya World exploit that, though? Does Maya World have a better chance now of winning the All-In Competition Tournament? And Athena with a bow of respect towards Syuri, a very rare show of respect by the fallen goddess with no insult sown post-match. Athena knew she was in a fight tonight. This was a fight that Athena needed to win. And of course, folks, you can continue to follow us here as Global War Cincinnati will continue next week. So it sounds we'll be back here next week with you. But for right now, on behalf of the Civil Iowa Studios, on behalf of the Rank Wrestling JJ Williams, on behalf of all of you, I thank you all for tuning into this special coverage of Global War Cincinnati. This has been Ring of Honor. Happy wrestling, everybody. Until the next time we are on your screen or in your X feed, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night. Make it an honorable one. And thank you for tuning in once again. Cut the damn feed, producer man.